Welcome in the name of the Lord. We have begun the Christmas season, and it's so great to have you here this morning. The series we're beginning this morning is called How to Have a Merry Christmas. And believe me, we need to have a Merry Christmas. There's not a whole lot of merry going on, not a whole lot of merry going around, but we can be merry in the Lord. Amen? When you were a child, I don't know. In fact, I didn't tell you this, Cheryl. I just ordered Aesop's Fables for the grandkids for Christmas, so for children. But not real popular anymore, I guess. We don't teach these fables to kids anymore. There's a lot of good stuff in there. And written several hundred years before Christ by Aesop. And one of the ones I remember most is The Goose That Laid the Golden Egg. Yes. So the story, it's very short. It says this. There once was a countryman who possessed the most wonderful goose you could imagine. For every day when he visited the nest, the goose had laid a beautiful, glittering golden egg. The countryman took the eggs to market and soon began to get rich. But it was not long before he grew impatient with the goose because she gave him only a single golden egg every day. He was not getting rich fast enough. Then one day, after he had finished counting his money, the idea came to him that he could get all the golden eggs at once by killing the goose and cutting it open. But when the deed was done, not a single golden egg did he find, and his precious goose was dead. Do you want the goose that lays the golden egg, or do you want the golden egg? We're talking about the presence of the Lord is greater than the presents that he gives us. The presence of the Lord is greater than the presents that he gives us. Lord Jesus, thank you for this holiday, this holy day season where we remember just how wonderful you are in Jesus' name. Everybody said amen. All right, let's have a Merry Christmas and start with Matthew 1:23. The virgin will be with child and will give birth to a son, and they will call him Emmanuel, God with us. That's God's presence with us, prophesied in the Old Testament in Isaiah 9:6. For unto us a child is born, that's given to us to be with us, and the government will be upon his shoulders. He'll be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace, and the greatness of his government and peace there will be no end. And he will reign on David's throne and over his kingdom, establishing and upholding it with justice and righteousness from that time on and forevermore. And the zeal of the Lord Almighty will accomplish this. Emmanuel means God with us. Sometimes you see it spelled with an E. Sometimes you see it spelled with an I. Does that ever trip you up? Shouldn't trip you up. Just the way that the languages work, Greek versus Hebrew. You can't compare the two. It's like comparing apples to oranges. So in the Old Testament, Emmanuel, because of the first vowel, would be an I, and then in Greek, the first vowel then would be an E. So it's the same word. Nobody's trying to trick you. All right? So look at this. We're talking about his presence being with us, being for us, and being within us. First of all, with us. Isaiah 7:14. Therefore, the Lord himself will give you a sign, and the virgin will conceive and give birth to a son, and they will call him Emmanuel. Right, with an I. We're in the Old Testament, right? God with us. He goes with you. He's with you. That should be really, really comforting to those of you who know him and love him. For those of you that are like on the fence, it's not always a great idea that God's with you everywhere you go because you take him some places that you probably shouldn't go, right? God with us. He guides us. You ever been to a place where you need a guide? And if you don't have one, you're going to get lost? I was not being very nice once, I remember. Where's Hannah? I was with Hannah. When did we go to Hannibal, Missouri with your field trip? Like third grade or something like that? Was it eighth grade? I thought it was younger than that. Anyway, there were these trouble. I went as a chaperone, and I was at the back of the line in the caves, and these kids were screwing around. I said, listen, I'll leave you here. You know what I'm saying? I'll leave you right here. Whoa. Oh, all of a sudden, now a guide's important, right? So many of us think we know where we're going, but God knows what you're going to do tomorrow before you know what you're going to do tomorrow. So it's a good idea that he's God with you, amen? Not just in the bad times, but in the good times too. He's always there. That's God with us. God for us, Isaiah 6:9. For unto us a child is born. So he is for us, a child. He's fighting for you. Do you want him on your team or not? Do you want him fighting for you? I did not have an older brother, but I had a very defensive mother. I don't know if my mom's watching today or not. But there was a kid in the neighborhood that thought he was all that, and he decided he's going to pick on me, and rightfully so. I was kind of a ding-a-ling, and I deserved to be picked on. And what was his name? Last name was Schneller. Wow, there's a blast from the past. Like 50 years ago, and he was going to beat the living stuffing out of me. You know what I'm saying? And I knew it, and I ran to the house, and mom, Tony Schneller was going to beat me, Mom, you're going to beat me. She comes out of the house, like the Wild Western through the double doors, right? And she comes to the edge of I'll never forget it, the burn of memory. She comes to the curb. Tony's house was catty corner to ours, and Tony was coming, and there was my mom, and I was standing behind my mom. That was me. I was that kid. And so that's how it is when God is with you, and he's for you. He's on your side. He protects you. Why do we kind of come out from behind him and think we got this? Let the Lord be with you. Let the Lord be for you. If God be for you, no Tony Schneller can take you out. He's with us, he's for us, and I love it, he's within us. He's within us. Colossians 1:27. To them God has chosen to make known among the Gentiles the glorious riches of his mystery, which is Christ in me. He's in me. I don't always do a great job of representing him, but he's in me. That's why when you do things that are against his law, you're breaking his heart. More than you break a commandment, you break his heart because he's in you. Galatians 2:20. I've been crucified with Christ, and I no longer live, but Christ lives in me. 1 John 4:15. If anyone acknowledges that Jesus is the Son of God, God lives in him. He is Emmanuel. He is with us. He is for us. He is within us because his presence is greater than his presence. Think of that. Don't be re-crucifying the goose that laid the golden egg of your salvation. Want him more than you want what he gives you. Seek the giver, not the gift. When you give gifts to your kids, what do you say? Hey, say thank you. Before you run off and play with that thing, tell Uncle Tom, tell Uncle Jerry, tell Aunt Lisa, thank you. Give them a hug. Say thanks for that gift because the giver is greater than the gift. God is with us. He is for us. He's within us. So here's the keys, 3 of them quickly, to have a Merry Christmas. Number 1, take time. Take time. It takes time to have a Merry Christmas. You just can't rush through Christmas. You have to take your time. Well, quality is better than quantity. You know, when you come to church, you're going to give Jesus one good solid hour, then the rest of the week you can take a flying leap. No, that's not how it works. This idea that, well, my kids, I just give them that good quality time. Wait a second. You need to give your kids quantity time too. Hello? Try this tomorrow morning when you go to work. You got your 8-hour shift. You show up, you say, hey, boss, listen, just not feeling it today, but here's the deal. I'm going to give you one really good hour. Why are you laughing? That's the rationale. It says quality is better than quantity. No, you got to be there. You got to be there. And for Christmas, you want to have a Merry Christmas? This thing takes quantity time. It takes quantity time. It takes time to be in his presence. You know, I've learned that if you ask someone to do something, whether it's anyone in your life, hey, would you mind, would you want to come to, and you ask them to make an investment of their time, and they respond, you know, I don't have enough time for that. Or you say to yourself, oh, I should work out, I don't have time for that. Oh, I should read the Bible, I don't have time for that. What you're actually saying, it's code. It's code. It's code for it's not important enough. Because you are the same as Bill Gates, and not in your bank account, but in the number of hours you have in a day. The idea that all men are created equal in the sight of God, yeah, we got 24 hours. We got 24 hours. What you do with your 24 hours and the way that you spend or invest your time. Too many people spend their time. I'm looking for ROI. Anybody? Return on investment. Put your time in places that give a dividend. Hello. All right. So how do we spend time? Well, with the music that we listen to, with the things that we read and so forth. There is a Christmas song. It's billed as a Christmas song. It's called Christmas Shoes. If you ever hear this song, just change the channel. Because that ain't no Christmas song. Hey, we're having a Merry Christmas. Oh, Mom died. Oh, hold on a second. Wait, Mom died. And you go into this depth of despair. And listen, it's easy to get depressed during the holidays. It's easy enough to get depressed. So-and-so died this year. You know, my mother-in-law died this year. My father-in-law died last year. I mean, whatever it is. Oh, you lost your job. Oh, you had the Rona, and you got sick. Oh, you lost somebody, and I lost my job. Listen, we're talking about having a Merry Christmas, ladies and gentlemen. Jesus is something to be celebrated, and when they talk about dead mom wearing red ruby shoes, like, come on. Listen to some good music. Now, listen, I'm all for Santa Claus coming to town, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and How the Grinch Stole Christmas. But let's have Jesus music. Jesus music. Grandma got run over by a reindeer. I love that song. I think it's hilarious. But it doesn't bring me into the presence of the Lord. The Lord's not hiding behind that song going, Grandma got run over. No, he's not. It's O come, Emmanuel. Like we sang this morning, right? The things that you read, Matthew chapter 1, Luke chapter 2, Old Testament prophecies about the coming of the Lord. Do you have a Christmas devotional? Are you going through some sort of Advent reading? The Advent, the coming out of who Christ is, being presented. Yeah? It's going to take what? Time. You want to have a Merry Christmas? It's going to take time. The things you listen to, things that you read, the way you decorate. You know, I like, listen, before I got married, I was looking for the holly hanging, the little mistletoe hanging over everything, getting my lips on this woman as often as I could. I don't know if we have any holly up this year. Do we have mistletoe up this year? You didn't hang it. We have some. We'll have to do that later. You know, and Christmas trees, that's great. I'm down for Christmas trees. But where's your nativity scene? Christmas trees, wonderful. Jesus hung on a tree, I get it. Jesus is the best present, I get it. Those are all metaphors. That's wonderful. But where's the nativity scene? Do we have? I think if I'm going to do without anything in my house, it's all going to go until the last piece is the nativity scene. Presents, holly, red and green candles. Stockings hung by the chimney with care. I'm down for all of that. But if you get lost in that and you don't take time in decorating your home and celebrating the one whose birthday it is, that's not good. If you look for me at Christmas, you won't need a special star. I'm no longer just in Bethlehem. I'm right where you are. You may not be aware of me amid the celebrations. You'll have to look beyond the stores and all the decorations. But if you take a moment from your list of things to do and listen to your heart, you'll find I'm waiting there for you. You're the one I want to be with. You're the reason that I came. And you'll find me in the stillness as I'm whispering your name. You don't find him as you're fighting over a Cabbage Patch doll at Target. Take time. Hello? Number one, take time to be with him. Why? We're talking about having a Merry Christmas. And that his presence is greater than his presence. Number two, take care. Take care. You want to have a Merry Christmas? Take care of yourself and take care of others. Take care means to tend to be careful with those things that you love. take care of yourself. And Luke chapter 5, verse 16, listen to this. Jesus often withdrew himself to a desert, to a lonely place, and he prayed. Jesus knew he needed time away, a little self-care, if you will. These disciples, yada. Right? It's the Son of God. I'm sure the disciples wore him thin sometimes. To get away, to be by himself, means that you and I need to understand the power of the word no. When someone says, hey, no, I'm not going to be able to do that. And let me just set you free. I learned this many years ago. When someone asks you to do something, and you know it's just something that you don't want to take the time to do, and it's really not, you say, no, that's not going to work for me. Just tell them straight up. No, I can't do that. And don't feel compelled to give them the reason why. We feel like we need to justify. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do that. And then what you'll actually do is you'll lie. You'll make something up. Well, I don't know, the ball game's going to go longer, and the wife needs it, and the kids. No, I'm just not going to be able to do that. And if they've got the whatever to say, well, why not? So listen, it's just not going to work in my schedule. It's just not going to happen. This is really important. I learned this early on because ministry can be a mistress. Ministry can be a mistress to a lot of pastors. Why? Because everybody loves what you're doing. Oh, good job, pastor. Wonderful job most of the time. Good job. And so you get all this positive feedback. And so rather than tending to my wife, I tend to the ministry. And so then early on, I said, listen, I got to spend time with my wife. Well, how spiritual does it sound to say, hey, listen, I can't come to your son's 8th grade karate graduation. Thanks for asking me. But I can't make it. Well, why? Well, I'm going to spend time. I have an appointment. My appointment is to be with my wife. My appointment is to be at home. I have an appointment. I have something scheduled. When you talk about taking care, take care of yourself. And I know it might be a little bit easier this holiday season because you're not running to all kinds of parties because there are none allowed. But take care of yourself. Stay away from toxic people too. You want to take care of yourself? Stay away from toxic people. You want to take care of yourself? Give and don't expect anything back. I know it's a cliche, but sometimes you give and it's like, what you got for me? No, just give. Give in the name of Jesus. Take care of yourself. And take care of others. John 21:16. Again, Jesus said, Simon, son of John, do you truly love me? He said, yes, Lord. You know that I love you. Then Jesus said, feed, or it's in the NIV, take care. You want to have a Merry Christmas? Take care of other people. Bless someone who has less than you. There's a reason that I bring Ivan Tate here at least once a year. Yeah, he's a good preacher, and yeah, it's an on-time word, but you know what he does? He exposes you to orphans. Yeah, that's why. You may not like Ivan for whatever reason. If you don't even know who Ivan is, take a breath. But if you don't like Ivan, he's not here to entertain you. He's here because of the method to my madness is expose these people to orphans. We don't call them orphans in America. We put them into foster care. David and Tommy run a foster care home, which is the James product. We're collecting paper products. We ask them, what do you need? They said, paper products. Toilet paper, should you be able to find it. Paper plates, paper towels. For the next couple weeks, we're going to collect those, and we're going to, it was last year before last, I think we did it. We had mounds and mounds. I'm expecting the same from you. My expectations are high. Why? Because you say you love Jesus. And true religion is this, people who take care of orphans and widows, right? Right? I'm trying to smile when I say that, right? That's called taking care of other people. That's what Jesus did when he came for you. What about, I'm talking about Christmas. Have a Merry Christmas? Take care of somebody that can't take care of themselves. Well, they need to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. That's not a biblical, let me just tell you, Mr. Right-wing conservative Republican. Hey, I'm down for what I have. I have not worked myself into a corner because this is what I want to say. Pull yourselves up by your bootstraps is not a biblical principle. If it was, Jesus would have never come to you. God helps those who help themselves is a lie. God helps those who cannot help themselves. Well, God should do that. Well, guess what? You are the hand of God extended to the orphans. So if the orphans aren't getting fed, guess whose fault it is? Ours. I'm supposed to be happy. Hi, Merry Christmas. Praise the Lord. Right? But we need a dose of that, right? Before you get yourself another bauble from the dollar store that no one cares about, it's going to be thrown away. How about you invest your time and you invest your money into somebody that doesn't have the ability to do that? Well, they got themselves in that mess. They got themselves in that mess. Well, guess what? You got yourself in your own mess too, and you sure would like some help too. Doug and Kim Fields, Beer Lahairoi, taking care of unwed pregnant women. Write them checks. Write them big checks. The Munsons, Wayne and Jenny. We got them here last year. Did we? Yeah. Listen, think about that. It's one thing to go down and build a house. We raised $10,000 to go build a house for anybody that doesn't have anything. I had somebody give to that project, and they go, well, what cut does the church take? This person doesn't go to this church. They say, what cut does the church take? I said, the church doesn't take a cut. Because the church doesn't take a cut? You mean every dollar I give goes right to them? Yeah, well, what cut do they take then to live on so that they can go buy the block and the sand to build these houses? I said, they don't take a cut. They just trust that on the goodness of God and the goodness of people who love God to bless them financially. So every dollar you give to the missions project will buy a cinder block to build a house. End of discussion. There's no cut for anybody. So before we go buy another this or another that and something else we don't need or a newer, even though the old isn't broke, how about we think about people who don't have anything or in some third world country somewhere? I'm talking about you want to have a Merry Christmas? Bless somebody like that. Have a Merry Christmas. Take time, take care, and take Jesus. See, the holiday which we are celebrating, here's a news flash. It's about Jesus, not about Rudolph. Yeah, Santa Claus, I was raised on Santa Claus. I turned out okay. But it's the idea that you lie to your child about this person, and then somewhere along the line you go, you know what, I just lying to you the whole time about how great this person was that brought you gifts. I think, here's a novel idea, you tell them the truth from the beginning, that this was, St. Nicholas. You unpack the whole story if you want. A real saint who had the parent trust fund and used it all to buy gifts for all the children. Look it up. He was present at the Council of Nicaea, a la the Nicene Creed, 3rd century. He's a real dude, a real good guy. So this Kris Kringle man in a red hat, that's all fun and games, just like the Easter Bunny or whatever. But at the end of the day, this is Jesus. This is Jesus, not Mohammed, not Allah. You read the front page of the SJR today. What a joke. What a rag of a newspaper. Which camera am I on? What a rag of a newspaper. Some female Muslim talking about, how great Islam is, and they take care of the women, and there's no oppression of women in Islam. I said, what are you smoking? Is this an early edition of April's Fool Day or something? I'm like, what the heck? Muhammad is a false prophet. Allah is a false God. Jesus is the only way, the truth, and the life. This is not a winter holiday. This is not a winter holiday. They already screwed us out of Easter. When I was a kid, we took Easter break. You don't have Easter break anymore. Spring break. What? I'm not going for the winter break thing. No. This holiday, Jesus. Hello, can I get an amen? Say it loud enough so everybody on TV can hear you. Well, it's Hanukkah. Well, let the Jews celebrate. That's fine. Festivus for the rest of us. Whatever. Hey, it's not about your decorations. It's not about your parties. It's not about your ugly sweater. It's not about your tree, whether real or fake. This is the season. It is the holy day. It is the holy season. We recognize the Savior of the world by which we measure time. His name is Jesus. Take him with you to your office party. Take him with you to your social gatherings. Take him with you over the river and through the woods. And most importantly, take him into your heart. He's the reason for the season. Imagine your birthday. Think of your birth date. So we decorate this whole place. We decorate it. We got all kinds of presents. And then we don't invite him. We exchange gifts with each other. I give you something, you give me something. We sing songs, we have a feast, the place is decorated. This is what happens in people's homes when they tear into packages before they read the Christmas story, where they just pause just one. I know the kids are anxious. I know it's crazy. I know this is all high excitement and building. Let's just stop just for a second. Take time, right? Relax, it's okay, and honor the person whose birthday it is. Okay? Take time, take care, and take Jesus. My favorite Christmas movie, I have to admit, is How the Grinch Stole Christmas. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came somehow or other. It came just the same, and the Grinch, with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so? It came without ribbons. It came without tags. It came out without packages, boxes, and bags. And he puzzled 3 hours till his puzzler was sore. And then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more. And what happened then? Well, in Whoville they say that the Grinch's small heart, boop, 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 grew 3 sizes that day. And the minute his heart didn't feel quite so tight, he whizzed with his load through the bright morning light, and he brought back the toys and the food for the feast, and he himself, the Grinch, carved the roast beast. Christmas doesn't come in packages and stores. I love all the decorations, from the food to the eggnog to the whatever. Sign me up. But that is not Christmas. It's not snow, not if you live in Australia. See how contextual all this is? It's not stockings hung by the fire. It's not red and green. It's Jesus. Take time, take care, take Jesus. I'll close with this. First Christmas, Jesus was born. The guests, the wise men, came from afar. Now, if I said that down south, they would think I said he came from a fire. But they came from afar. Wise men. They say there's 3 simply because there were 3 gifts. The Bible doesn't say that there were 3. It just lists 3 gifts. Gold, frankincense, myrrh. So as I thought about that, in light of how we're trying to have a Merry Christmas, these wise men, what was their deal? Well, they were wise men from afar, a long ways away. They saw the star, and they said, well, that's interesting, and went about their day. No, Number one, here we go, let's rehearse them. They took time. They didn't send an email, congratulations, Mary. No. They got on their camels and they rode. I don't know how far they rode, but I have ridden a camel. They're not comfortable. They were on one and they rode. And they rode and they rode and they rode. They came to Herod, obviously. Said, okay, off we go. We're going to go find this king of the Jews. So they took time. They could have just blown it off. What's that? We even went to see the movie, that one movie. What was that one movie where the mom and dad weren't going to have Christmas? They were going to go on a cruise instead. Christmas with the Cranks. You ever seen that movie? I'm not a movie guy, but the ones I do see stick with me. So they were just going to blow off Christmas that year. But their daughter wouldn't let them. It's a long, funny story. Don't blow off Christmas. We look at the stuff. Oh my gosh, you're going to haul that tree up. You got to get that stuff out. Don't wear me out. For real. But for the grandkids, for the kids. You take the time to do it. It's important. Because you're celebrating Jesus. It's his birthday. The three wise men, number one, they took time. I don't know how long, but it took time to get there. Number two, they took care. What do you mean they took care? They blessed a single pregnant mother, a single parent mom, not married. Remember, Mary was not married to Joseph at the time. Mary was a single parent at the moment. Let that sink in just a second. How does that fit with your theology? Then these wealthy guys show up with gifts. They're taking care. They're blessing someone whose baby was just born in a manger. Right? Let's bless somebody who doesn't have anything. And then they took Jesus. Well, they didn't pick him up and take him literally any more than you can take him literally. But you know what they did? Remember when they went to Herod, and Herod said, oh, yeah, go find them. Go find him. And when you find him, what? Report back to me. Come back and tell me where he's at, because I want to wink, wink, worship the king too. That wasn't Herod's plan. So you know what the wise men did? They said, phooey on Herod. We're just going to go home and we're not going to go back to Herod. You know what they did? They took Jesus over the authority of Herod. I'll try that again. They chose Jesus over the authority of Herod. They said, Jesus is more important to us than anything Herod would ever command us to do. So they picked Jesus. So my prayer, my hope, my concern, as I was reading for this morning, thinking about this message and what I wanted to share and so forth, the Lord, just right out of left field for me, deposited a word that I shared in first service, and I feel compelled to share it with you as well so that we can all be on the same wavelength here. And that was this. It's just very unusual for this Christmas message and having a Merry Christmas. The Lord said, prepare yourself for wartime footing. A wartime footing. And what that means is that if you want to come talk to me, we want to have a conversation, and I don't feel at risk or threatened by you, I just, we'd be nice and close, and we'd have this conversation. But I don't know if you've ever been like around a policeman who doesn't know who you are and what you're doing in that circumstances. They're like, no, stay right back there. You can talk to me from here. They never got their hands down by their side. Their hands are always right here. You ever notice that? Right? They're ready. Nobody's standing flat-footed, just a little bit like this. So I'm prepared if something goes south. I'm not stupid. I'm forewarned. I'm prepared for that's a war footing. Nationally speaking, a nation can be on a war footing. The military has been rallied to arms, and we're not at war, but we're prepared. We're strengthened, and we're in a stance that says if something hits me, it's not going to knock me over. This is the word the Lord gave me this morning for the church. That listen, what you sense in the Spirit, God is up to something really, really big. And I don't know what it is, which irritates me to no end. But what he did tell me was, prepare yourself and get on a war footing, which means prepare yourself, Eric. I don't know what's coming. I don't know what's coming through the door. I don't know what's coming down the alley. I don't know what's coming down the pike. I don't know what happens after Inauguration Day. But God does. So I want to take time to be with him, take care, and then take him everywhere I go. Be prepared in season and out of season. Well, I have like a minute. I'm very happy in my heart with what I just discerned. You know, this whole be prepared, prepper, you know, that's like a dirty word for some people, be prepared. Go tell that to Noah. Noah was the first prepper. He didn't know what was coming. He was told, just get ready. We are being told in the spirit realm, get ready. Be prepared. I'm not talking about going buying toilet paper. If I could slap you, I would. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about prepare yourself. This is the sharpest tool you have. Do you know it? Is it in your heart? Is it in your spirit? Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.